On the evening of April 14, 1912, Titanic's wireless operators Jack Phillips and Harold Bride had received ice warnings from ships in the area. Some of the messages had been given to the bridge. The bridge is a room or platform from which the ship can be commanded. On April 12 at 9 o'clock a.m., the ship Carina sent a message to the Titanic that reported small chunks of floating ice and field ice. On April 14, the ship Baltic sent a message at 1:42 p.m. reporting that the ship Athenia passed icebergs and large quantities of field ice. This message was delivered to Captain Edward J. Smith as he talked to Bruce Ismay. Ismay pocketed the piece of paper and later showed it to several passengers at 7:15 p.m. Smith asked for its return when it was finally posted in the chart room. On April 14th, the ship America sent a message at 1:45 p.m. to the U.S. Hydrographic Office in Washington, D.C. that was overheard by Titanic's radio operators reporting of two large icebergs. On April 14th, the ship California sent a message at 7:30 p.m. to Italian, but was again overheard by Titanic's radio operators, reporting of three large icebergs. This message was delivered by Bride to the bridge, although Captain Smith was not made aware of it. Cyril Evans was a wireless operator that was on the Californian. Evans was trying to send messages to warn Titanic about the icebergs. Evans' signals were interfering with Phillips' ability to send his messages, so Phillips told Evans to stop transmitting, even as Evans sent Titanic an ice warning. Fatally, Evans turned off his wireless and went to bed. The California ship Evans was on stopped for the night due to ice. The Californian was less than an hour away from the Titanic. On April 14, the ship Mesabe sent a message at 9:40 p.m. that said that they saw much heavy packs of ice and numerous of large icebergs, and also field ice. This message was never reached to the bridge. They were only 400 miles away from where the Titanic was struck, the iceberg. Ice is a seasonal hazard in the unforgiving winter seas of the North Atlantic, and in the couple of days since leaving Southampton, many ships have reported ice in the exact area into which Titanic would be sailing into. On April 11th, Titanic received 6 warnings of heavy ice from ships stopped in or passing through, 5 on April 12th, 3 on April 13th, and 7 on April 14th. All of these messages would have been written down as they were intercepted, logged in the radio book, and passed on to the officers on the bridge. There was now no way that the captain, along with the officers, would have been unaware of the huge field ice that lay directly in front of the Titanic. The Titanic sank in latitude 41.43 north and longitude 50.14 west on April 13, 2 days before the Titanic sunk. The steamship Carina finished the following message. Westbound steamers report icebergs, huge chunks of ice, and field ice in latitude 42 north and longitude 49 to 51 west on April 12th. This was the most important message out of all of them, because if Titanic would have heard or seen this message, there would be a very highly chance that Titanic would have changed their direction and not hit the iceberg. These coordinates Carina gave the Titanic and the coordinates where the Titanic hit is almost exactly in the same spot where Carina gave the report about the icebergs and huge chunks of ice. The Titanic was built to be unsinkable. It had a ton of features that made the ship unsinkable. The most important feature was the 16 watertight compartments, which included the watertight walls and doors to stay afloat if water ever came in. But when the Titanic struck the iceberg, it filled up 6 of her forward compartments when it could only withhold 4. The ship's designers thought Titanic was virtually unsinkable, so they decided to not put enough lifeboats on board, which that resulted in more than 1,500 deaths. The Titanic had a total of 21 messages of icebergs, field of ice, chunks of ice, and almost anything that related ice. I believe that this is a human error that the Titanic struck the iceberg.